Hello there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with yet another commander deck that comes from Bloomberg, and it's one of the main deck commanders again. So we're on to Kastral today. I haven't, 2 weeks, 2 typal decks. Oh well. Kastral, 3 white and blue for a 4/5 bird scouts. Flying, and whenever a bird deals combat damage, or one or more birds you control deal combat damage to a player, you either get to put a bird card from your hand onto the battlefield with finality counter, or your graveyard for that matter. So not keen on finality counters, to be honest, but hey hum. Then you get to put, a +1/+1 counter on each bird you control, or you get to draw a card. In standard, not that great, because you only ever get to do one of these 3 things. In commander, so much better. 3 opponents, attack them with each with a bird. Hopefully they get through, and then you get to do all of these. So yeah, I think it's better in commander than standard by far and away. So hence why the deck is all a flying typal deck today, and here we go. Right then, beginning 33 creatures, starting with a whole load of 1-drop birds. So the assistant comes in to let us do a bit of scrying when we cast our historic stuff. The skirmisher is just a 1/1 with flyer, but compare that to Healer's Hawk that has lifelink. A little bit of power creep one feels over sort of like 10 years plus. Anyway, Miner's Guidewing, when it dies we get to explore, has flying and vigilance. Again, better than our poor skirmisher ever was. Ranger's Hawk comes in, 1 mana for flying, but then we can pay 3 at sorcery speed to go and explore a dungeon if we need to. Augury Owl, scry 3 when it enters, and then Cartographer's Hawk, we can bounce back to our hand once it's dealt combat damage to go and find a plains and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Notice it's a plains, not a basic land, but a plains. Therefore we can go and get some of our dual lands if we need to, if we need to maximise our mana. Izior, Ward Wing Familiar. Spells your opponents cast that target 1 or more commanders cost 3. So basically it gives, to all intents and purposes in my mind, gives Kastral Ward 3. I'm sure there's a judge out there who tell me it's not the same thing, but to my mind that's how it works. Shoot me. Life Creed Duo also comes in from Bloomberg, gain a little bit of life when our creatures enter the battlefield. Palace Familiar lets us draw a card when someone kills it off, unfortunately. And then we have Xenu, Keen Eye Protector, which I really do like from Assassin's Creed. You can exile it, and it's got flying and lifelink for 2 mana for a 2/1 with flying and vigilance. I get learn my reading skills better. Then we can tap it and exile it, Xenu, to gain 2 life and scry 2. But then, when we attack with a legendary creature that isn't blocked, we get to put Xenu back into play, tap onto the battlefield, attacking. Quite a nice little trick, comes in, because this will come in attacking in the blocking, declared blocker stepped, because all the blockers will have to be declared, therefore you get Xenu back that way. Seems sensible, but a bit weird. Anyway, Sever Disciples next. Cast a historic spell. This gets +1/+1 to the end of the turn. Nice little first strike thing. Attack a player who hasn't got any flyers. You get the first strike trigger to do then one of Kastral's 3 abilities, because you've dealt damage to a player. Watcher of the Spheres just cuts the casting cost of our flyers down, and then gets a little bit of a pump every time a flyer enters under our control. Aven Mimeromancer just turns all of our smaller creatures into 3/1s because they put feather counters on them. So yeah, nice little bit of fiddling around. The Mind Sensor, usually seen in a stacks deck, so play it at your risk. It will upset your opponents, but at the end of the day, it's a bird with flying and flash. The 3rd ability, we're not really worried about in this deck. It doesn't affect us. Empyrean Eagle just gives all our creatures, all our flyers +1/+1. Kanji's Lieutenant, whenever it attacking creatures with flying get +1 and +1 until the end of the turn, and then we can encore it. We can exile it from graveyard, make a copy of it for each opponent still against an attack. So theoretically, if this gets killed off early when you get to 6 mana, you can go encore time. Okay, I've got 3 of them now. They all attack. We give all attacking flying creatures +3/+3. Does make maths difficult for people. Lieutenant Kirtar gives us a little bit of removal. We need to take out something that's very annoying. I'm thinking Eldrazi's with Annihilation, maybe. Plume Creed Mentor really doesn't do much unless we get another one of the cards off. But at the end of the day, we can do this and start chucking around some +1/+1 counters on some of the things we have coming up, so we have got ways around it. Warden of Evil Isles just cuts the cost down of our wonderful creature spells. Augur Ravery, a 3/3 for 4 mana, not great, but a 3/3 for 4 mana over a few turns. Yeah, I can cope with that plan with the full tell. Curiosity Crafter just gives us no maximum hand size, and when our creature tokens get through, we get to draw a card. We have a way or two of making some well, one way I know of making tokens, so may come off, but I just like the owl picture, to be perfectly honest. Ishe Ojatai Dragon Speaker just gets bigger because everyone has to cast spells in Commander at some stage, so +1/+1 counters around for Ishe a lot. Kanji Airy Mentor Keeper, I will try to be playing this as late as I can so I can do the kicker, so I can put the feather counters on Kanji and then give all our flying creatures, well, all the birds, +1/+1 for each feather counter. And since everything is a bird, getting this late and kicking it is a really good plan, even if the kicking value is expensive. You're looking at 6 mana before you start paying X to do the kicker, so it's definitely a late game bird. Men Eldor Swift Saviour deals combat dash to a player, exile to one target creature we control and bring it back. Okay, not the best one of the Lord of the Rings Eagles, but it's here. Aven of Enduring Hope gains us some life. Coveted Peacock lets us goad creatures. When any creature, you don't have to control, it's just when it attacks you may go target creature defending player control, so you can protect yourself some of the big stuff that you're worried about. Grain, the greatest of eagles, gain 3 or more life, create a 3/3 white bird creature token with flying. Yeah, doable, maybe. Is it fun? Oh yes. Another version of Kanji, the Sky Warden is also here. So when Kanji the Sky Warden attacks, it pumps all our birds up by +2/+0. When Kanji blocks, it gives our defense to our, well, pumps the toughness of our creatures up by +0/+2 as well. So good in either situation. Night Fisher, play a bird, get a 1/1 blue fish token. Very nice, like this plan. I just find it funny, but yeah, I like the artwork and I like the theory from Bloomborough. Steel Plume Marshal, whenever it attacks, we get to give all our creatures with flying +2/+2 until the end of turn. Yep. Eagle of Deliverance, indestructible counter, aim this at Kastral as soon as possible. And then Gawain, the Windlord. This spell costs 2 deaths to cast as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. Flying of Vigilance and gives all our birds Vigilance. Nice Lord of the Rings card to finish off the creature deck's side of it there. We have quite a few spells. Ponder, Preordained, Serum Visions, sort out the top of our library and our drawers. Counter spell, Cyclonic Rift and Mana Drain, control the board a little bit for us. Unbreakable Formation gives all our creatures indestructible, and then if we also cast this during our main phase, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on each of them and give them Vigilance at the end of the turn, so that really does help. Chroma's Will gives us the ultimate punch through for the Alpha Strike. Cryptic Command controls a bit more countering, bouncing, card draw, tapping down everyone else's creatures. Yep. Ojatai's Command, bounce something, gain some life, counter target creature spell or draw a card. Nice, I like these commands, they're always good fun to play. Migratory Route. We can cycle this if we need to go and find a basic land if we're short of land, but getting 4 1/1 white bird creature tokens can really help, believe it or not. Austere Command, Farewell, control the board. Probably be really unpopular with Farewell, but hey, people will have to deal with it. And then Time Spiral. I've got a bit into Time Spiral recently since it came down in price on MTGO. I'm not saying it's cheap in real life, just so we're aware, but MTGO is fine. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library, draws 7, and you get to untap 6 lands. Yeah, like a little bit of recycling, I do. Ramp wise, did go a little bit heavy on the ramps though. Jeweled Lotus is here, Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Marble Diamond, Mind Stone, each of the medallions, the Sky Diamond, Talisman of Progress and Thought Vessel, they're all here. The only artifact that isn't really a ramp is the Elixir of Immortality, so we can go and shuffle everything back in and gain a bit of life if we want to. Enchantments, just a couple. Raven's Warning, because it produces a bird creature token with flying and you gain a couple of life on the first chapter. We get to look at a player's hand and draw cards for the second chapter, and then you may put a card you own from outside the game on top of your library. So you've had to exile something at some stage, maybe bring it back, chuck on top of your library, but yeah. Excuse me. Last one, Cathar's Crusade. Had to find a way to try and pump the birds up a bit quicker, and the Crusade does this for me quite happily. Land wides, blue and white all the way through, nothing too fancy at all. We have gone in with Reliquary Tower on this deck and Temple of the False God, purely because Kastral, you need Kastral in play, and it gets killed off once it's 7, then 9, then 11, so that's why the Temple of the False God's here. And Reliquary Tower, we can draw a fair few cards, so you don't really want to be discarding them if we could avoid it. Sorry. One thing I will point out, Khan's Bastion's here, so we can proliferate all the +1/+1 counters and make our birdies even bigger. And that is it. That's my little take on Kastral for the day. I think it's quite a good deck to, potentially teach people how to play Commander with. You can take some of the expensive cards out, Time Spiral I'm looking at, Jeweled Lotus I'm looking at. You take them out and it comes down quite to a reasonable price level, and it's quite good fun to teach them, especially since you've got combat triggers and all got the other bits and pieces. So yeah, I'm thinking of building it as a training deck myself in real life, but for now I'll be playing it in the version I've got here on MTG when I get to streaming again after my week's over at work. Speaking of which, come and give me a follow on Twitch. You want to see me play the games? They're down below. There's a link to my Twitch page there, and if you haven't been here before, I'd love it. You could hit the subscribe button. As I record this video, it's gone up a couple since yesterday's video. I'm now seeing at 492 subscribers here on YouTube, so thank you to all the people who've subscribed recently. I'm 8 short of my target for the year, so if you can help out and subscribe if you haven't been here before, I'd really appreciate it to help get up to that magic 500 number by the end of, well, you never know, might get there by the end of August. Maybe a bit of a push, but yeah, hopefully we'll get there soon. But for now, thank you for watching. Come and watch me play these on stream soon, and yeah, I'll be back very soon with some more decks. Take care, have a great week. Bye.